Renee Michelle, what have you learned from being in Japan, and what was that whole experience like? Because that's a whole nother culture, a whole nother world for professional wrestling.
Wow, being in Japan is, if you ever watched the COYO documentary, compared to other companies that I have heard and that I've seen, marvelous that Chikusa Nagayo represent now, is very much like the COYO lifestyle. You're in the middle of nowhere on the countryside in Chiba, Japan. You wake up at a certain time, you have curfew, you train twice a day, you don't have no distractions whatsoever, no drinking, no smoking, you eat, sleep, nothing but wrestling, and you learn how to become, not only just representing yourself, but representing the company as a whole and stay as a team, and more so as a family. But a little on top of that, they're very, very strict with their training. They don't play around, they're very dedicated to it, and because of that, I have learned so much, especially from Chikusa-san. She gifted me with all her knowledge, and I'm still learning as of today, and I couldn't be even more honored, and I'm very thankful for her. I'm very, very thankful for her.
You got a great experience there, and you've been doing this, as you said, since 2013?
Yes.
So you're still fairly new to this, and like you said, you're learning. But who are some of the talent you've worked with? Because you've worked with an impressive list already of talent.
Yeah. Gosh, to be able to wrestle from Mickie James to Satana Garrett to Tessa Blanchard to, be able to wrestle Takumi Aroha, who is a protege of Chikusa Nagayo, and to be able to, it's just so many different people from all over. I could go down a whole list, and, obviously, I do have a list of individuals that I do want to wrestle, and I will eventually get to them sooner or later. But other than that, I'm never going to stop learning. I'm never going to stop, perfecting my craft. And of course, I will eventually become the top Eva Alpha.
Social media? Do you have a social media for fans to go to?
Of course, you can find me on Twitter, which is one Renee Michelle, as well as Facebook, and you can find me on Instagram, which is Lady RM.
What are your goals and your future plans?
Obviously, to continue on in Japan, but if I'm ever have an opportunity to get into WWE, then of course, and what better way that my top woman that I would like to wrestle, if I ever do have an opportunity in WWE, is definitely Asuka. So what better way, since Asuka was trained by the Lioness Asuka and I was trained by Chikusa Nagayo, since they were longtime tag team partners, rivals, what better way than to have both of their students be able to wrestle in the ring together?
And you mentioned already this is a great time as far as women's wrestling goes and what's
Definitely.
going on. And this is awesome. For you, how does that make you feel? And how does it make you feel that fans are taking women's wrestling? It's not just a women's wrestling match, it's a wrestling match. And they're seeing that today.
I'm glad that, the women's revolution is actually shifting, it's actually developing, it's actually showing that not only that we're pretty faces, but we can actually get in the ring and be just as tough as the men or even better. And the fact that we're able to enhance our craft and show our aggression and show that we can actually do this versus being like, oh, I'm just a flower, just pretty face, just standing here. No, we could get in the ring, we could do our stuff, we could be just as well and better than the men, like I said again. And, obviously, work speaks for itself.
Now, the last thing I'll hit you with is the ring attire, because entrance, music, ring attire, this is all part of the whole genre of professional wrestling. So tell a little bit about, is this something you designed, you make, or someone else did for you?
This is what I have designed. Of course, I had Rambling Rich who was able to make my gear, but of course, since there's, a lot of Latinas in the industry as well as other nationalities, what better way to represent part of my heritage, which is I'm part Native American as well. So since there are not that many natives in the industry, I definitely want to be able to represent that. And of course, I have the wolves that's on my pants and also on my kick pads, which represent my father and my mother's tribe, which is the wolf tribe known as Eniwaha. So I do want to be able to show that in a way. Of course, I'm not going to be like howling at the moon or anything, but this is part of my heritage, it's part of my culture. I'm glad to be of a mixed race, but let alone on top of that, I do want to be able to represent like, hey, we're not extinct, we're still here, and this is who I am.
Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much.